Pay, it's all about love. You're about busy or don't come on. I know that they're at home, why shall the words or done the dad, but here in the studio, or it is extraordinary because I have with me in the studio, they are married for 25 solid years. And see, this year, or your one silver jubilee. I'm so much privileged to have them. They're going to share with me and you at home how they've managed to come this far. Because Obin is 1 month no longer existing. Obin is 1 year, no longer existing. Obin is a crowd 2 days, no longer existent. So if they've been able to marry for 25 solid years, they've married for 25 solid years. Let's put our hands together for them. Let's put our hands together for them. If you're home watching me, put your hands together for Mr. and Mrs. Dwumfour. Mr. and Mrs., welcome.
Thank you.
You look good, I must say.
Thank you.
Love is in the air. Love is in the air. Love is in the air.
Thank you.
In fact, what's now her name in dame your soft thing? What the man say this after me? I do take you as my beloved wife. Banimo Papamo, till death do us part.
Yeah.
Anyway, good to have you in the studio once again.
Thank you.
In a Valentine's Day, the world all over, I celebrate all your love. Now, having you here means a lot to some of us, especially when it comes to marriage. That is what most people, or your one but say there, you're able to me war, for a number of years, possibly our JBR or Mba. But let me go to Mr. Dwumfour first. And come back at the ladies first, but today let me start with him. Mr. Dwumfour, what did you say 25 years ago that made you get closer to this woman?
Thank you very much, Kwaju Okofi.
Kojo.
Good. It was what somebody would say love on a first sight or something of a sort. Yeah. I had been talking to a colleague, a friend, about this lady for a long time without her knowledge. And the colleague actually impressed upon me to approach her and marry her by all means, because he would have loved to marry her.
Wow.
But he had already chosen his partner, and there was no turning back. So he would want a very close person to marry her. And I didn't consider it until I saw her. And when I saw her, the very moment I saw her, it was as if we've known ourselves for ages.
Whoa.
Because the colleague, within 24 hours, began to jealous us the way we were relating. Just after 24 hours, he jealous us the way we were relating.
I mean, the connection was already there.
It was so close.
Wow.
It was so tight that letting her go to the world for somebody else to take was not possible.
I see. So that's how it started.
Yes,
so you went forward?
I did.
And what did you tell her?
Well, if I could go back a bit,
That's why I want to know that.
Apparently,
That magic word.
Yes, apparently a lot of people wanted her, but they couldn't approach her. And because it was so close a time for me to propose, I designed a statement that, well, if it were possible for me, because I've been talking to my friend for all this while, it appears as if I've known you for ages, but you don't know me from Adam. We have just met. So I will want us to keep a relationship, and if it is possible, we will graduate it into marriage. And she kind of looked at me. Now, wo school mo a wonim ba bia wo ko. Onim dia wo de wa bra bofa. Enkrofo bebre ye adwuma timi entimi nka nkyere me se obo pemi. Wo za kwa we e de na wo mu a wo be ka kyere me se opemi. She looked at me up and down again and said, well, let's keep it at friendship level.
Okay.
We never know.
Okay.
And we just, so after making that statement, we were friends for a while. And then I went back again. Are you thinking about what I told you that day? I said, oh, but what else must I say? Looking at the way we are going, do you think you need a yes or no?
So that was like the yes answer.
Answer, yes, indeed. Yeah.
All right, then. That's so beautiful, quite romantic. But Mrs., so when that friendship started, I'm sure you were just trying to study him to know whether he was going to fit into your kind of a man. Now, before you gave that answer, what did you see that moved you that finally gave you that satisfaction that I can live with you, and for that matter, you need a yes or no answer. That was quite an interesting one anyway.
Actually, when I met him, I felt deep within my heart that this is the kind of man I want, because he was very confident. You see, a lot of people had proposed. I think he was a fit person. So I was still praying, because I wouldn't want to enter into marriage and get divorced or maybe any separation. No, I wanted to enjoy my marriage. So actually, I was very, very prayerful. But the first time I met him, I felt deep within my heart, so this is the kind of man I want. Because he was so confident, and compared to the 4 others who proposed, I think he was the second to be very confident, but he was the first, actually.
Okay.
And then what I wanted was a God-fearing person. And then maybe after God being a God-fearing person, then other things will follow. Because if the person is not a God-fearing person, wow. So that is the most important thing.
Wow.
Yes, so
for 25 years, you've been together. Yeah. We're going to look at this in all honesty. Let me start with Mrs. Dwumfour, seated right here in her beautiful red, I should say. So help us know, what has been the most critical moment in your marriage that you felt this could have broken the marriage? And then we find out how you were able to stand. If you can share with us the critical moments that you really experienced in your marriage. Some people watching us this morning, they're saying that it is not possible for people to live this number of years, without going through some challenging times. And then wondering if they went through those challenging times, how were they able to make it this far?
Okay, what I would say is, to tell you the truth, the gospel truth, I have not gotten to that critical moment to say I want to just come out from that marriage, because we communicate effectively, we respect each other's views, and then I would say wherever we go, any occasion or event, we are there together, and I would say I've not gotten to that critical stage to say, no, this one, I want to come out. No. Because I always have the positive mind to work at my marriage. Because most ladies nowadays, they wouldn't want to work on their marriage.
Okay.
What I also say is, friendship, they make a lot of friends. I don't make friends. You can find out from my husband.
Okay.
I don't have a best friend.
Okay.
And normally when you have a lot of friends, you like to share your marriage, experiences with them. And if you're not careful, your marriage will be doomed. So those who are older than me, maybe 10 years older than me, and they are really enjoying their marriages, they are my friends.
Wow.
So that's why you seek a lot of advice, so that you don't get divorced or separated.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I have not gotten to that critical point to say, no, I want to. I've really regretted.
Okay.
I have never regretted.
You've not gotten to that point.
No.
I don't know if Mr. Dwumfour, maybe deep within him, has gotten to that point and has not really told you.
Me.
Until let me find out from him. And also, tell me what the secret has been. She says that she seems not having a friend. You are the best friend. And for that matter, not hearing so much has also kept the marriage going. So was there a time, or has there been a time where Watanasi like, no, miana me kaso be, miana me ne be kopa, but minya ba kono anka. Me feel say no be boa me. Has there been a time like that?
Not really, not at all, because whilst on campus where I proposed to her, there were other ladies. In fact, the day she visited, a lady was just leaving my room. She came in, I thought her accountant, she was just leaving my room.
You thought you're accountant?
Yes, I'm an accountant. That's so she was just leaving my room, and that is when she also came. Then I quickly left the other lady and then took care of her and then went back to my place. So there were alternatives. But ever since I met her, I have never looked back. We do have our critical moment challenges.
Okay.
We have our problems. Even this morning when we were coming, we thought about the shirt I'm wearing.
Very usual with them.
Oh, yes.
Very usual with
have
them.
to
Go and change and go and change and go and change. This one and the time. No. And sometimes you just have to listen to them because if you don't take care, you mess up.
Wow.
Yes. So we adjust. But to the point where you say, oh, I am tired of you. I'm kind of Boadu. I've never gotten there before. We do have our moments where we disagree on issues that we turn to the bed. You look to the north and I look to the south. But by the end of the day, by the time we wake up, we are back.
Wow.
With all our good DNA, teasing and what have you, then we move on with our lives. Yeah.
That's so beautiful. So not that problems do not arise. It does, but you have your own way of solving. We'll let you tell us those little things that you do to, solve your problems, because that is what we want to know. We are learning today. Let me come to Mrs. Dwumfour Boadu. Mrs. Dwumfour, I'm going to give you the opportunity to do this for me. You look into your husband's eyes, and then you tell him 5 things you like about him, 5 things you admire so much about him, 5 things that you would never want him to lose it, 5 things that moves you, that makes you love him, than any other man on this planet. So look into his eyes and tell him that. Ladies and gentlemen, love is in the air.
Oh, my dear husband, what I love you doing is you always look smart and neat. He's not those men that normally they bath once. If he had opportunity, he would have bathed thrice or 4 times a day. Very neat and handsome man. I love the way you keep yourself up. You've not changed. You don't have potty belly. Somebody will say, and so he's very careful about his diet. I love that, and that has really kept me how I am now. I've not changed.
Okay.
I've not changed in my shape-wise, in the stature. Thank you very much. And then what I also love about you is when you are free, you join us, you cook for us. Special meals, like a bunebuno. We really love it. He goes to the shop to get the foodstuffs and then gets into the kitchen and say, my wife, don't get closer to me. I'll make sure I cook for you and you serve you. I love that. And I think I've mentioned 3 or 4.
3. So 3. You have the 4th and the 5th to go.
All
Please
right.
do not look at me. Look at him. Look at him with your eyes. Not me.
What I also love
not
about
Mr.
you is
Dwumfour.
about your Christian life. You have never changed, right from the word go. You have never changed. You keep improving and improving. It's only that you don't have the collar, but you are more than a pastor in the house. And then the 5th one, very, very close to our children. A very lovely husband. Kindly keep it up. The way you relate with the children, you are very happy. And also to your dear wife.
Thank you.
That's quite touching. I heard some people saying, ow, when the Bunu part came in there. So, Mr. Dwumfour, romantically, looking to the eyes of your wife, you are telling her 5 things you love about her, 5 things that you just wouldn't want to lose or wouldn't want her to lose. Look into her eyes and speak to her.
So, Bridget, my wife, you've been very loving right from the word go. In Ephesians chapter 5, verse number 22, talks about submissiveness. And my wife is epitome of submissive woman. Especially when I told you about when we met, I was nobody. Just a graduate, about to even complete. But she looked at me and chose me above other people who had made it, were in their own cars, in their own houses, and some were even pastors. Whoa. But she chose me. Maybe a downtrodden, she chose me. And I love that submissiveness of you. People look at her, but she's very, very submissive and very loving as well. She rightly says she doesn't have any friend. She's my only friend. I mean, I am her only friend. Let me put it that way. A very close friend who is always available. No matter how you shout, she's always there.
When your wife was talking
She was looking at me. Okay, then she must also look at me. Bridget, look at me. Yes. So she is my friend. I'm the only friend she has, and we've been very, very close together. I like the way she handles me. She's a teacher. Bridget is a teacher by profession, and she teaches me. She will not let you go without inspecting. She will go around you and inspect what you are wearing from head to toe. What do you know? Not the Nisa country say, Hoya. No, I show him, or be a crowd, feel saying, I say, Bibia, everything is in order. I love that. She takes care of me every morning. You will be surprised that I've taken my breakfast before coming here. And so she takes care of me in that manner, feeds me very, very well. And above all, she's also God-fearing. She submits under my pastoral role in the house. I am a pastor in my house. So my congregation, and she happens to be my assistant pastor. Anytime I am on any assignment, she will find out whether I have prepared enough. And she will also want me to, tell her what I'm going to say and even punch in something. Would you add this to it? And that kind of thing. And she has been my teacher in the house and around. And I love her for who she is.
That's so beautiful, I must say. So beautiful. This morning, Mr. and Mrs. Dwumfour Boadu is here with me, and they are helping us know what they like about each other. Of course, Odonara na yes, and Fofro, and in the Wubiza, so and Sana, a lot of things will be happening here before we go. We're celebrating love, trust me. We're celebrating love. Now, let me come back to the tribal issue that you mentioned. Of course, when she said that she is a Voltarian, and that like people were saying that now, someone from the north, Dwumfour Boadu free north now, Dwumfour Boadu free Ashanti. In your 25 years of being together, has this whole tribal thing played a role that you think some way, somehow affected your relationship or has affected your marriage?
It did be in the initial stages, but it has rather strengthened. It has not impacted negatively. One of the reasons why I didn't want to consider her at all was because of her background. So when my friend was talking about her, it's like my mom took care of me. My father died very early, and my mom took care of me, and my mom wouldn't want to have anything to do with the Ewes or the Kwaus. We are typical Ashantis. And so it's like,
wow.
And it was difficult for more than, I think it's almost 2 years. My mom will not relate to me because I have brought an Ewe home.
Wow.
Yet prayer worked. I prayed and prayed and prayed. And at a point, that was where I was thinking, God, is she the one you really want me to associate with for the rest of my life? And so I had to give God some fleas for him to really prove to me that she's the one. And I spoke to God, I prayed to God. I am very prayerful. My everything is prayer.
Wow.
I mean, I don't spend Fridays on my bed. Whether you like it or not, I'll go for my all night. As long as I have life and I'm not going to travel and drive, I'll go for my all night. So I prayed, and she also prayed at the other end, because at a point we couldn't even meet. Whoa. We are supposed to meet in my house or her house. Wherever you are going, your mother is trailing you. All kinds of people around you, giving her information.
You are mama's boy.
Oh, indeed.
Mama's boy.
So it was difficult. So I prayed to God and said, God, if she is the one, then let my mom, I gave God the impossible task. Let my mom, who will not, I know how proud she is, who will not ever get up and say, yaw, if you neko me jai mean simni na mafa awawi se me ba neko ware no. I prayed to God, and lo and behold, exactly that thing. I was just walking in town when my younger brother called me and said, oh, ma, Mr. Brasisia. Then I come home and she says, Kofre abna bremi.
Wow.
And then minini will be become. Because I was afraid. Minini will be become the one here now.
Now, something you wouldn't want to hear.
And they me person make sure say makamabum.
Wow.
And I couldn't believe it. Because it wasn't possible. But God did it. And that is what really made me sure that this is the woman for me.
Wow.
Because what I told God, exactly
that's what
he did.
Actually came to.
Yes.
So, Mrs., that day when he came to call you, that mommy wants to see you, how was the feelings like? Before you even went to see mommy, what was going on in your mind?
Actually, I wasn't surprised because I had just returned from the mountains, fasting. I prayed, fasted for 7 days. By then, we were on vacation. I'm a teacher by profession.
Okay.
So I think the 4th day, while seeking God's face, it was revealed to me in a dream. I saw my in-law calling me, Abna bra, me no wasam ka, me jabi biya manaka, ma fa se me ba.
Wow.
Wati. And so I had to write it down. But I made sure I was done with my 7 days, and then I came down.
Okay.
So I told my husband that this is it. So he said, "Oh, Bridget, it's the same thing. Auntie, every show." So what?
You were shocked.
Yeah.
It's like what you saw, it's happening.
Because you see, some of this, if you don't pray, you might take a wrong decision. I said, "Oh, is that how God works?" This thing has been very, very fast. All right, so I prepared and I said, okay, because I've already seen it. He revealed to redeem.
Okay.
So I told him this was my dress. I said, well, it's God's will for us to marry. So I went there, I knocked. Oh, I've been at Tenase. What to say? I said, Mama, who ye? I said, bra, my father sent me back. Why? And that was all. Wow. Now we even
She's more of a mother to you than the own son. Can you imagine that? How many kids do you have?
We have
3.
We have three girls.
3 girls?
Yes.
Straight girls like that?
Yes.
One first and twins.
Whoa.
Yep.
Okay, so after today, the boy will come. That's the prophecy. Go to the mountains and it will be revealed to you.
Amen.
All right then. Oh, he said amen to that one.
Oh no, not at this age. I turned 50 just 28 January, so
we'll give it to the girls.
We'll give it to the girls.
So the girls will bring the boys.
Yeah, the girls will bring the boys. Yeah.
But let's see. How do you resolve your issues? I mean, be away from what you told us that it comes and the next morning you were going. How do you resolve your issues, Mr. Dwumfour? How do you resolve it? Because most of the times the women, they talk about and I'm going to tell you what you don't. I'm going to ask you to tell me what you don't like about hair.
And no one can. And no one can. And no one can. Sometimes you want some quietness. You get.
I see. Anyway, that's okay. So after the plenty talking, how do you resolve the issues?
Right. I think the most important way of resolving issue is honesty. Be honest and be open. In my house, we have an open door policy. In fact, the kids sometimes come to me and say, look, we have to talk. And they just sit me down and they start talking. And we take notes and we address it. And that is how I deal with every issue in the house. When issues come up, we sit and we discuss and we talk about it. If it means me saying sorry, it's not a big deal. If I know I am at fault, I will just say sorry. You know, sometimes it's difficult for men to say sorry. But even sometimes you may not say the sorry, but your attitude and everything shows that you are sorry.
Okay.
Then we move on. We don't drag issues. The other thing is that I sometimes just keep quiet. When they're talking is going on, I just keep quiet. And they talk, and they get okay. When you are talking plenty, I'll just go and read some book.
Wow.
And you talk and you'll be all right.
Wow.
You know, when you vent, you'll be okay.
Okay, so tell me, I mean, he's told us one part of ways that you people resolve your issues. In spite of your talking nature, he's kind of accommodative, I should say, but I'm sure sometimes annoying.
Oh.
When you are talking and he's not talking.
By nature, he doesn't like talking, but you know women, we would like to share our sentiments, you understand?
Right.
Well, I wouldn't want to hide my feelings. So my gestures, my moods should tell you something. But if you've not identified that gesture that I'm bringing across or the mood, I have to talk. Kasa then I'll be free. I wouldn't want to keep it within myself, but at least the kasa no out of the 100%, so you might take some 30 or 40% out of the talking. Oh, say anya bebreo. Anya bebreo. I'm not a talkative, but you see, by nature, I'm a teacher by profession. Yeah, they are kasa. But kasa girls kasa do. They're not that type.
So what don't you like about him too? Because he's talked about the fact that you're talking things sometimes.
Oh, anya bebreza. Anya bebreza.
That's okay. So what don't you like about him? He's here today. Maybe you've not been able to tell him. So tell him, what don't you like about him?
I think he knows. What I don't like about him is when I'm saying something, try and listen.
Talk to him.
When I'm trying to bring something across, oh yeah, I think this thing we have to do it this way. Oh, Mati, okay. But sometimes, you know, I want you to, Bridget, Bibi Biomana, he will not say anything, then you just leave you. But the next time you see him doing the thing.
Wow.
So I think that is what I don't like about him. You should try and have some listening ear.
I want to believe it's normal with us.
Is it with all men?
I am tempted to believe so, because everything you are saying here is being said to most of us almost all the time. You understand that. But let's look at the beautiful side of marriage. I mean, one of them is what we're experiencing right here. Being together, sharing the stories, being able to reconcile no matter how challenging it may be. But let's look at the beautiful side of marriage between the two of you. What do you do that spice up the marriage? I mean, you tell me, Mr. Dwumfour, what do you do that you think, oh, let me do it this way. You're going to tell me what he does that you believe spice up the marriage beyond the cooking. You understand? And then he also would tell me the things you do that spice up the marriage. We would want to know that.
What I really like about him, effective communication. Effective communication, especially when we both come from our various work home, we sit in maybe in the couch or in the bedroom. You see, you might think he's not listening, but he'll be listening quietly. We share sentiment. What happened at work? What went wrong? You see, these things are very important, so you can be able to vent out certain things. And as soon as you're able to, this didn't go well, today I've been very, very tired, I had a very enjoyable day. These are some of the things which really helps.
Wow.
But so effective communication, that has really brought us this far.
You think that makes the marriage going?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then forgiveness.
Wow.
Try to let go.
Wow. And let God.
And let God.
You let go and you let God.
That's
beautiful.
And
so
then also being prayerful.
Wow.
Being prayerful.
Wow.
I think initially he said about Fridays. We don't miss our Fridays. If I'm not able to go, maybe due to one or two reasons, he will go. And I also do mine in the house.
All right. So our time is almost up. I have just two more things to do, and then we wrap it up for today. Let me also tell you that if 4123 has something special for you this morning, it's all over here. They knew that you people were going to be here, and they decided to surprise you with this beautiful hamper. Love is in the air, and that's what we are celebrating.
Thank you.
All right. Then, so just tell me one thing that you believe spices up the marriage. That has brought you here.
Okay. So I am an indoor person. In fact, if you leave me in my house and you have a little tea or something around me, you can go and just go. Don't come back. I'm okay.
Okay.
And I know that irritates her because she's an outing person. And so sometimes you just grab you, let's go.
Whoa.
Leave the computer.
Whoa.
Leave your desk.
Whoa.
Let's go.
Whoa.
And I have no choice because it kicks in my head that, look, you've been sitting here for far too long.
Wow.
And, it kind of bring some good memories.
Whoa.
Then you just have to follow her and you have to go.
I wish I have the day. I would have asked you places that you've been to. But who's the best dancer? Who's the best dancer? He's the best dancer.
Nah.
You're going to give me money for
We've not been dancing. We've not been dancing for ages.
So aside the inspirational songs that you people call gospel music, what genre of music again do you like?
In fact, it will take me back to the gospel.
Gospel again?
Me, I don't listen to any other song apart from
We'll play you gospel to dance before we go. How about you, Mrs.?
The same.
The same thing.
Yeah.
What's the most annoying? What's the most annoying?
Hey, Mia.
onwa.
Me who he papa
That's what they talk at him. I know that.
Me
you
where
know.
he papa,
But who
papa.
likes food the most?
Food.
Why not pay the other pamu?
Oh, emia.
What are pay the other?
Me de nyame asese nyame na mkai.
No credit ba. Kwenye bebre but me pay.
Who is a workaholic?
Oh God.
He's a workaholic.
We both
always working.
I see.
Always working.
I see. All right, it's been an interesting time, but we don't have the day. I wish we could, move on, but because I have a lot to ask you. But I'm trusting that another time will be just us without any other, activity, then we can talk about that. So this one is coming from Ifwa 123. They packaged this for you, knowing that you people will be here and say, so if you look through what is before Mrs. the pink box, you have perfumes in there, you have some candies in there, you have a lot of beautiful things there. And then when you go to where Mr. Dwumfour is also seated, you could see that there is a chocolate, and all that, in there.
Thank you.
That's right. What's in your show? So before I let you say your final I love you to each other, I'd like to go to Mrs. Dwumfour. Young couples are listening. Some are married, some are not married, some, going through a whole lot. In a minute, a word for them looking through the cameras for me.
Okay. My advice to maybe freshly married people or maybe those who are going through challenges, I would say, first of all, learn to forgive. Let go. Let God lead. And then respect each other. Very key.
Wow. So forgiveness and respect, you think keeps it going.
Yes.
So young people out there, if you're listening to Mrs. Dwumfour, she's talked about respect and forgiveness. If you want your marriage to last, do not let this out of your life. Mr. Dwumfour, a word from you to the men out there.
Okay, so for the men, I will advise that marriage is work. Because God instructed Adam to prepare the land and keep it. So anything you want to keep, you must prepare. You must work at it. A lot of people think that marriage is automatic. When you put it in the drive gear, it will just be moving. You need to just get up and work on it. So you work on your wife, you work on the children, you work on yourself. You just want to listen to her and obey certain basic instructions. You want to draw closer to her and make sure you are able to meet the needs of the house. Men you don't just call yourself a man because you have the organ and that makes you a man. No, you need to work. So in addition to the forgiveness and other things, I want you to work on your marriage. So the Bible tells us in Philippians 2:12, it says, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. I would say work out your own marriage with fear and trembling.
Wow.
When you work it out, you can keep it.
Wow.
Thank you.
When you work the marriage out, you can keep it. That is coming from Mr. Dwumfour. Mr. Dwumfour, like I said, if 123 is giving you this one, we're just about wrapping up. So look into his eyes and tell him something nice today, being Val's Day, and then he does same to you romantically, and then we will bring our segment to a close today.
I love you.
You do?
Yeah.
Amen.
What a man. Oh. You see?
The man is always preaching. I love you. Was the amen. That was the gentle.
And the man.
Anyway, just allow him to say something nice to you as well.
Biddy, I will always love you. I love you today. I loved you yesterday. I love you today. I will forever love you. Amen. I will never regret for knowing and choosing you. You're my love for life and forever. God bless you.
God bless you too.
Write your name across my heart. I want the world to know that I'm yours forever. And as Mr. Dwumfour said, if I am to choose again, I will choose you. We love. That's a beautiful day. Thank you very much, Mr. Dwumfour. It's been an exciting time, and I've truly enjoyed it. After this commercial break.